All right, Nika, amongst so many distractions in the offseason, it's finally here. The Bears, the Vikings, Monday Night Football, Caleb versus the world, and the official start of the Ben Johnson era. Did I miss anything?
No, you got really excited.
Yeah,
So
I am
perfect.
excited. You know, like I have reason to be, as we're going to get into in the middle of this segment. But this is going to be our official preview of the Chicago Bears 2025 season. And we've been holding on to this for a minute, you know, and I think we waited even up until after every other team has played all their games so far, except for the Vikings and us, the Bears.
The last two remaining.
We're literally at the final 12th hour here. So bear with us. But this is going to be three things that we're going to be looking for in the upcoming Bears season. Primarily the Ben Johnson effect. What is that and what does it mean?
Okay.
We have an offensive coach. So what does that mean for our defense and for our special teams? What should our expectations for this season truly be? Because I know everyone wants it to be like 11 right now out of 10.
Instantaneously.
Yes, we live in a society that wants instantaneous gratification thanks to social media. Thank you, social media. Woo! But nevertheless, the world doesn't always work like that. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. That doesn't mean doom and gloom, right?
Absolutely. Patience is a virtue.
Nevertheless, wanted to set that expectation right away. And, by the way, so if this is your first time here, please do us a solid and hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring that alarm bell for us. And you will never miss a Bears post-game show. We will do them every Tuesday or Monday, depending on which day the game is. All right. So point number one I wanted to get into here is just I am going to be looking out for Ben Johnson's effect on Caleb Williams, but not just Caleb Williams, on the entire Bears offense.
Okay.
Because, Nika, it's time to get out of the Stone Age, right? The Bears have been stuck in the Stone Age since I was born. They've been a running team, as you want to call it. And that doesn't mean Ben Johnson's not going to run the football. I want to make it clear. But the Bears in my lifetime have never looked like a modern NFL offense looks. You know, they are stuck in the Stone Age.
They just found fire.
And they did. They found fire in Caleb Williams. No, they've had other quarterbacks.
Sure.
Rex Grossman. They've had Jay Cutler, of course. Mitch Trubisky, they gave it a try. Justin Fields, who might be good now. I don't know. Coaching matters.
Absolutely.
So that's what we want. We want to see a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, I guess, when he killed us all those times. And Brett Favre, the way he killed us and picked us apart. And you just want to see a modern run NFL offensive team. And we finally feel like we got that with Ben Johnson. And the other half of that equation is, of course, Caleb Williams. And we want to see great quarterback play from our first round #1 overall draft pick last year. And if you're a Bears fan, you probably want to see it sooner than later.
Of course.
It was not
Pretty last season.
It wasn't the prettiest, but it wasn't like the disaster that some people make it out to be. We'll talk about that hit piece that came out in another segment in a little bit. But yeah, you want to see it sooner than later to put your mind at ease, right? And to put the critics to rest so that we can talk about something else. And we should be talking about football, not what's happening off the field and all this other crap and distractions. So the sooner Caleb Williams plays great on the field, the sooner we can move on.
Yes.
All right. And we also want to see our new and improved offensive line. The Bears' offensive line was trash last year. I so remember this still from social media at Indianapolis. And like literally all 4 of our offensive linemen were on the ground like within seconds of the ball being hiked. And it just getting run over by the Colts defense. The Colts.
And the false starts. The false starts were killing the Bears at the earlier
So
games.
sloppy. Sloppy. You can blame whoever you want, but at the end of the day, that's on coaching.
Yep.
And the Bears had horrible, horrible coaching. So let's see how quickly this new unit gels on the field. You know, like I really hope we don't have 6 false start penalties tonight.
Oh, jeez.
It will not be a great omen for the new Bears season. And yet it could happen. It could happen.
Anything could happen.
Hey, you remember the Bears missed out on drafting a running back this year, right? They went all the way through the draft, and finally in round 7, they hit their guy, Kyle Monangai. Well, it turns out he might be looking at seeing some time on the field tonight. A 7th round draft pick, and not unheard of or anything, but Roshan Johnson, who's ahead of him on the depth chart, is questionable tonight.
Okay.
So if he does not suit up and play, does that mean Kyle Monangai is the next guy up and will be backing up DeAndre Swift tonight? I love DeAndre Swift, but I don't think he is a good necessarily running back to have in all game.
Might be too much for him.
Yes, so he will need a breather, and Kyle Monangai will be that guy.
Maybe.
He's been getting praised by Ben Johnson at practice, but he is a 7th overall draft pick, so we'll see.
Sometimes those numbers don't correlate how you perform on the field with a new coach.
Oh, I'm excited to see him try and play.
Yeah.
I hope he gets out there, and we'll talk about it tomorrow after the game. I also want to see our other high draft picks, Colston Loveland and Luther the Burden III. I'm excited to see them in this offense. Ben Johnson's so high on Luther Burden, and I have to think that us drafting him when we did 39th overall was strictly Ben Johnson's call, and he just loves him. You can tell the way he talks about him. He's a dog. He calls him a dog. So excited to see these new pieces out there. And I think at the end of the day, Nika, we just want to see offensive production like we've never seen before in Chicago. Never. I want to see what we've never had before. 4,000 yards. I want to see these key players take to the system. Caleb, Roma Dunze, Colston Loveland, Luther Burden III. This is a core that's going to be here for a while. These are young draft picks,
Sure.
Surprises. Any surprises on the offense? I'm looking at Cole Kmet. Everyone's focused on Colston Loveland as like this new tight end piece to play with, and I'm not saying he's not going to be great, but don't sleep on Cole Kmet. The Bears have 2 really good tight ends now, and Ben Johnson loves to run 2 tight end offensive setups, so look out. We could have a great dual threat at tight end. And then Olamide Zacchaeus. We saw him in the preseason make a beautiful touchdown catch. And, when you have DJ Moore and Roma Dunze, you tend to forget about some of the other names. And I look for him to maybe have a big season this year. I like the way he looked in the preseason. Now, there's a whole other side to this game of football called defense, Nika. And actually, if you're being genuinely honest, you could say that there's 2 other parts of this game, and one is special teams. Do not sell short on special teams. But it begs the question, now with having an offensive-minded head coach, unlike Eberflus, who was defensive-minded and obviously wasn't great at it as it was, is our defense special teams any good now? And I think these parts of the game tend to get overlooked with so much focus being put on Caleb Williams, both off the field and on the field. We had the Seth Wickersham thing. Now we have the Tyler Dunn thing happening. So much off the field nonsense, let alone the on the field play. And all this other stuff tends to get overlooked. So we have an offensive head coach now. And how does our defense look? Well, I thought this was funny. This happened in the middle of training camp. We had this shared practice with the Dolphins before we played them in the first preseason game. And apparently their players and coaches complained to the media that the Bears were hitting them too hard in the drills and stuff that they weren't supposed to be hitting them hard in. And I love that. As a Bears fan, I absolutely love that you made the other team cry to the media. Wah. It's
maybe
football, man.
I know. How are you going to react when you
gosh.
get hit on the field during the game?
I don't know, but Ben Johnson, we learned throughout training camp was known to be having a very physical camp.
Of course.
And I'm a big fan of that.
You
Like
should.
so many modern coaches and teams, like I think, are scared of injuring players and getting those contact drills going too soon, and they forget that the body needs to be conditioned
Absolutely.
to take abuse.
Absolutely.
And you have to find there's a fine line.
Yeah.
And you have to, so I'm glad that we had a physical camp. It made me feel like the Bears days of the old, like, well, if we're pissing off the other team because we're hitting them too hard, then good. You know, I want that psychological advantage when teams
that's
come
not
and
even
play us.
that.
Like, oh shit, we're playing the Bears. They're gonna hit us hard today.
But it's a conditioning. You
Good.
gotta go through this. Otherwise, you get on the game and you start getting hit, and next day you get injured.
You're gonna have guys leaving with deep bone bruises
Right.
when they should just be like light
Conditioned.
contusions. You know,
Absolutely.
Like, it does make a difference of whether or not somebody could potentially play through something like that or not play through something like that. Is because there is like a pain threshold that
Absolutely.
comes with it.
With any sport.
Anyways, I thought that was boding very, very well. But nevertheless, as we head into week 1 here, the Bears have some scary injuries when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. TJ Edwards, one of their linebackers, is doubtful for tonight's game against Minnesota. And Kyler Gordon was added to the questionable list just like yesterday or the day before. So that's a starting cornerback. And then you have Jalen Johnson, who's also a starting cornerback who's out, like he's questionable. No idea if either one of them are gonna play, but TJ Edwards being doubtful definitely means he most likely will not play. The Vikings also have some injuries, including 3 guys that are just listed as out completely. So it's a little bit balanced, I guess, when it comes to the injury side of things, but that doesn't matter once the ball gets hiked. And
All
the game
teams
starts.
gonna have injuries.
Yes. Now, the only other thing I want to say about the Bears here is the special teams, and I'm kind of worried about our kicker, Cairo Santos. I don't want to throw any shade on him because the season hasn't started yet, but I just hope that, you know, he's a carryover from like previous coaching regimes, and not saying he's done anything to unearn his job, but it's been a while since he's had to make any high pressure kicks because the Bears have been out of so much games and competing. And I just wonder what Ben Johnson's tolerance threshold is going to be for someone like him if he misses a couple of key field goals early on in the season. All right. Well, either way, in Ben we trust, and we will roll with Ben Johnson because, you know, you should.
No, we got no choice.
So having said all this, these are what I'm looking for on the offensive and defensive side of the ball and the special teams a little bit. You know, I'm mostly looking at the kicking game and the special teams side of the ball. Season expectations, Nika. Oh, boy. This is tough. You know, it's the first year with a new head coach, second year with a young quarterback, and who's going through learning his second offense already. Not a good situation on its surface. However, this is the most coveted head coach recruitment in all of the NFL, and the Bears finally got one. Will it backfire? Maybe. Who knows? It could.
It could?
But the signs are pointing upward. The arrows are pointing upward. The fact that the other teams are scared of us after practicing against us, that's good.
It's just the Dolphins. Come on.
It is just the Dolphins and their crazy coach. But, yeah, nevertheless, I think we want to see the Bears have a winning record here this year, even if it's just 9-8. You know, even if it's just one game over 500, that's got to be like base level expectation number one, right? Like, can we have a winning football team for the first time in a while?
Yeah.
Now, the divisional crown, the NFC North, I'm way less confident that the Bears can win this division with, especially with the Packers getting Micah Parsons and kind of changing the balance dynamic of the division going into the season. Not saying it ensures the Packers of anything, but they did beat the Lions yesterday, and the Lions were the top dog the last couple seasons under Ben Johnson's offense.
Right, but they don't have Ben Johnson no longer.
They don't, and they kind of looked like chicken and white rice, as someone posted on X. Hilarious. That one got me. I think the Bears can challenge for the NFC North, and they might be a surprise dark horse to win the division, but I still think it's a really high uphill battle. I think there's hope, and we will at least be in the running when you get down towards December.
It will be nice to see today's game where the Vikings have a brand new quarterback starting as well. They have a rookie quarterback
who was injured all last year.
Right. So they both of the teams have quarterbacks starting second year.
Yep. And we're going to talk about that Vikings game before we get out of here, I promise. But looking at the full season, the playoffs, are the Bears going to be one of the teams to make
I don't know.
the playoffs? Again, I think just like winning the NFC North, which obviously would guarantee them a trip to the playoffs, making the playoffs is going to be a tough challenge in this NFC. But I do think it's attainable. And
It is.
I think the
Sure.
sooner the Bears make the playoffs with Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson, the better off they're all going to be, because it's experience. The intensity level elevates a bit when that playoff calendar
but
hits.
Both
And
of those positions are brand new at where they at. So it might take a year or it might take 2 seasons.
I'm 50-50 on it, but
Yeah.
I really hope they do make the playoffs as a fan, because, like I said, I think it benefits the team. But bigger than that, I think I want to see Ben Johnson's culture change.
I think that's more important.
I'm excited to see this happen, and it's only year 1 of a
Exactly.
6-year contract.
And you can build off of that.
Yes, but we've seen how this impacts other teams we follow, like the Cubs and the Padres. It can have a positive or a negative. And it can be up and down throughout different seasons, and it can frustrate you. But nevertheless, I do feel like when your team knows its identity and knows what kind of team it wants to be, and what the culture of the building that you're working in is, it only helps everyone know the expectations then of their job. And this is a
Absolutely.
job for these guys. So I'm excited for that. Now, on the flip side, patience might be required, because Ben Johnson has already set this expectation in the preseason before he even took the field as a coach. And he said, it might be rough at times. It's going to be a roller coaster.
Of course.
I'm going to challenge these men, and those are all good things. Sometimes, though, that ride is bumpy on the way in, especially when you have a rookie or a second-year quarterback learning his second offense
And a
in
rookie
his
coach.
second year.
And a rookie coach.
And a rookie coach.
So it's a bumpy road ahead. It's a growing pain.
It is. And that's the most important relationship on this team. So, as much as it is a team game, that relationship is important. And Ben Johnson's going to have to learn how to manage that relationship as well, because he's not just an offensive coordinator anymore.
Yeah. He's got a whole team to manage.
However, I don't think he believes that. I don't think he wants this to be a slow start. I think he wants to
course
come
not.
out, hit the ground running. I think he wants to be a winning team this season. I think he wants to make the playoffs, and he's going to challenge his team to try and do that as much as possible. Will they fall short of their goals? Maybe.
Who knows?
But I think he's at least setting that expectation with these men in the room, and that's more important.
I think it's easier said than done. And I hope the Chicago media doesn't have a lot of the
Overreaction
Mondays, Tuesdays, whatever days it is, because that's what tends to happen a lot of times with Chicago media
I
sports.
can guarantee you that is not going to happen, and they will never learn their lesson.
Oh, great.
I promise. All right. Well, let's talk about tonight's game for a second, Nika,
Okay.
because it is Monday Night Football. It's the first matchup of the year. What is some things that we can predict for tonight's game? Well, what do you think?
Who's going to win?
Will
That's a prediction.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But will we see the Bears score more than 30 points tonight? Last year, they only scored 30 points twice, and it was in weeks 5 and 6 before the bye week, and then the disastrous finish to the season. So only twice last year. Will Ben Johnson get this team clicking on offense early and often this season?
Oh, wait, we're doing
And
prediction for the whole
scoring
season?
points. No, are we going to score more than 30 points tonight?
Oh, tonight?
Yes.
No.
No. Oh, I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
I'm going to say yes. All right. How will Caleb Williams handle the pressure of the new hit piece that's been put out on him? Because
It'll be
we
fine.
all know that he knows about it. And yeah, that's something I think I'm just going to be watching for in the game tonight. Not necessarily a prediction. I think he's actually going to rise up, and I
Yeah.
think it's because he has a good coach. I think this is where you see a Ben Johnson come into play and help him keep his focus and be like, hey, we're going to shut those MFers up tonight, and not back down. We're not backing down. All right. A fun question for you. Will Ben Johnson win his first challenge as Bears head coach? When he throws the red flag for the first time, will the call get overturned in the Bears' favor?
Ooh, I guess it depends on the call, but I go, sure. Let's go with yes.
All right, I'm going with yes too. All right, Ben Johnson,
Yay.
throw that red flag. All right, will he win his first game tonight at Soldier Field at home as head coach of the Bears?
Yes. I'm going to go yes
I'm going to say yes as well.
because it's at home.
Indeed. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say it's going to be close.
Yes, it will be close.
Final score
The
prediction?
full moon is in effect, so yes.
What's your final score prediction? Any final score?
Less than 30. So
You said that, yeah.
I know. So it's going to go with 28 to 26.
I'm going to say
And
Bears
is that possible even?
28 to 26.
Yeah, is that possible?
Well, it is possible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw the Chargers had 26, I think, against the Chiefs the other night.
All right, so let's go with that.
Yeah, I mean, any numbers are kind of theoretically possible. But yeah, 28 would be 4 touchdowns and 4 extra points. No
So-
2-point conversions. And so, yeah, 28, 26. I'm going to say 38. I'm sorry. 31 to 28 Bears. Bears
Okay.
by a field goal.
All right.
It's going to be close. Nail biter. But the crowd goes home happy tonight. And
So if you lose, you're grilling.
I'm grilling no matter what. All right, well, that's it for the 3 things to watch for in 2025 for your Chicago Bears. And may the football gods be with us, huh?
Good karma.
We need a change of fortune.